question for your guest.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Not a question, something interesting that I have never in my life seen a bee swarm. But I got a phone call from my son earlier, well, probably about a month ago at the most. And he has a tree, a fairly small tree in his yard. And all of a sudden there was this huge basketball size or bigger.
Oh, there's a picture of it.
Swarm of bees that had collected in his tree.
Uh-huh.
And so here's a hint for anybody that has this happen. If you could get hold of a beekeeper, which I don't know how you'd get the information on how to get a beekeeper.
Well, I'll give you a number right now. Ben, what number should they call immediately?
Well, my phone number is 716-450-4215. I don't have a lot of other phone numbers. I'm assuming that you could call the Ag Center as well if you're near the Jamestown area, 716-664-9502. They might have a list of beekeepers.
And that's what happened. A beekeeper came and, well, we saw on eBay that you can sell your swarm for like $100.
That's true.
But rather than do that, he asked the beekeeper if he would give him a jar of honey, he could have the bees. And he came and took the bees away, and sure enough, he gave him a jar of honey. So everybody was happy.
Well, what did he do? Put the swarm in a baggie or something and take it home?
Well, I wasn't there to watch it because I wasn't quite sure how they were going to react, but apparently nobody got stung and the bees went away, and
everybody was happy, huh?
Yeah, and somebody's got a new swarm for their one of their beehives.
Yeah, well, those bees are worth 3 cents a piece, madam.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that's how it ends up $100. I don't know.
Well, a swarm could have 20,000 bees in it, right, Ben?
Well, a 3-pounder which normally would, 2 to 3 pounds of bees wouldn't be 20,000 bees. It would be more like 4,000 or 5,000 bees. But still, a good start to a hive, and I would assume that he put that right into a fresh new hive with a little bit of, a little bit of wax on one of the frames like that one that I have, and a bunch of starter combs so they could go to work.
Away they go. And they raise their own queen.
Well, that's just a suggestion what to do if
they don't have one.
A bunch of, don't spray them with stuff that's going to kill them, because somebody can use them. And like we've said, the honeybee population needs a little oomph right now because
yeah, how about that? Are you really suffering from loss of bees? Or?
Yes, we are. Locally and nationally, we're losing on the average, we lose about 1/3 of our bees a year, which is a terrible expense because everybody has to either split bees, and there's an old saying, you sell bees or you sell honey. If you're spending a lot of time replacing bees and splitting your hives so that you keep your hive count, like say I have 100 hives and 50 of them die out over the winter, I've got to split all of them in the spring, or else I've got to spend $100 a piece to buy packages of bees through the mail. I'm probably going to split my hives, and I won't make as much honey because they've got to raise all new bees to fill all those boxes, and it really cuts down on the spring honey flow. We'll still make honey in the fall, but weak spring swarms don't make a lot of honey in the spring.
Oh, there you go. Call
well, thank you very much. You've been most informative.
Yeah, send me a stamped envelope. I'll send you a $5 gift certificate twice, $10 worth, at the Lakeview, which is a beautiful little restaurant at the foot of the hill here, across from the park in Mayville, New York.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that bee. You call it the beehive syndrome or bee collapse syndrome, right?
Yes. Yes.
No one knows why it happens, right?
We have a lot of scientists working on it. The USDA is working on trying to find a cure for it. They're trying to find out what it is. They find lots of viruses that are in the hives. They find the Verolomite in the hive, but they haven't been able to figure out what actually causes colony collapse disorder. Now, I want to make a little statement for beginning beekeepers that probably the most important thing you could do if you want to start hives is to join, one thing would be to get a hold of some literature at your library where you could get, a lot of new information. The other thing would be to join a bee club. Now, in Chautauqua County, we do have an old bee club that was There's reference to it in the American Bee Journal as having started in 1870, so that's a long time ago.
Wow.
Now, we meet every month in the Ag Center, the Frank Bratt Ag Center up by the airport in Jamestown. I think our next meeting is like the 3rd of August. It's usually on a Thursday night. And one of the other key things of history is that, you know, way back then they had people that were making woodenware beehives in Faulkner, and there was something else here too.
Well, they've been around a long time.
A guy by the name of James Beebe had a I should have shut that off before I come in here. I'm sorry. He had a patent for making a wooden hive in New York early on. So if you're interested, you can call us.
Give me that number again you gave, your number.
That's 716-450-4215. Evidently someone just called it.
Well, if you want more information or would like to, do you let people come over and look at the bees? Or your hive?
Yes, we do. We do take people through. We really like to work with young children. We just hosted a National Honeybee Queen at our meeting last month.
Well, you had a big picnic down in Mayville Park, right?
Yes. Our annual picnic has been in the Mayville Park for years. It's been very successful. It's very pretty there, and we want to thank the person who was running the Chautauqua Bell, because right during the interview with the National Honey Queen, he tooted his horn as he came back in. She felt that we'd set that up special for her. She felt quite honored.
Well, that was wonderful. She's a National Bee Queen, or?
Yes. American Bee Federation. Alyssa Fine is her name, from the American Bee Federation. We were very happy to be able to host somebody from the national organization.
Well, I hope do you have a picnic there every year?
Yes, we do.
So people could remember that about this time of year if they want to learn about bees, meet all the big bees.
They're certainly welcome to join our club. Or
what's it called now? The
Chautauqua County Beekeepers Association.
Chautauqua County Beekeepers Association.
We have about 70 participants. Like I said, we meet once a month. It's usually on a Thursday. If you need more information, you can call me, and that was 716-450-4215, and we'd be glad to have you. You don't have to have bees. We do 2 or 3 times a year run a beginning beekeeper course at the beginning of the meeting, and we usually meet
during the meetings. You
learn
how to start. You only need one hive, right, to get going?
Well, I recommended they have 2.
2 hives. Why is that?
The reason for having 2 hives is if you have a queen failure, you can pull brood out of the other hive and stick it into the weak hive to make it stronger or to grow a new queen. And if you only have one hive and you're a beginner, you have nothing to compare it to. You don't know whether your hive's doing good or not. But if you have 2 hives, one's doing good and one's doing poorly, you can figure that out.
Okay, now what's it cost? People always wonder, what's the bucks? Say I just want to have a small bunch of bees, just for fun, maybe 2 hives.
Well, if you're willing to build your own boxes, you know, and you're handy with woodwork.
I'm not. I'm a total.
Well, then you're going to put a couple $100 into it, no doubt about it.
For 2 boxes, or
per
box?
Yes. Each frame costs $1 a piece. Each foundation costs $1. You multiply that times 20. Now you've got, you know, $20 in each hive, so you got $40 worth of frames. You've got two $10 boxes. And then you've got a cover and a floor that's going to cost you about $10 a piece.
How about the bees?
And the bees are going to be about $100.
Another 100?
Yeah.
So you're talking 3 bills?
Possibly.
3 bills. And then you get probably $1,000 worth of honey before you know it.
Well, you know, I belong to several bee clubs around the country, and if you're going to do bees, you got to look at them as a pet. You know, it costs you money to buy a dog. It costs you money to take care of it. If you go to Florida, you got to take your dog with you. If you go to Florida or on vacation, you can leave the bees sitting in the backyard and they'll be fine.
They'll take care of themselves like a cat, like a cat.
Yeah, more like a cat.
Now, Ben, if I hear that bees are everywhere. They just introduced them in New York City now. They allow them to. They have them in the top of the buildings there, the skyscrapers.
They didn't just introduce them, but they are now legal to be there.
That's what I mean, they're legal.
For years it was illegal to keep bees in the city of New York, and they all kept them on rooftops, and they carried them around in a little box and kept them hidden, but they were there. People knew they were there.
Where do they get all the honey? I mean, it's all concrete and asphalt.
A lot of people have flowers on top of these roofs, you know. There's gardens you know, and then there's Central Park, and every flower that's hanging on a windowsill, bees pollinate. They're opportunists. They'll pollinate whatever they can find.
So
And they fly 3 miles. They can fly up to 3 miles in a circle.
in a day, you mean, or
Yeah, is there foraging? Yes.
That's interesting.
We don't like them to fly 3 miles because they don't make as much honey. We like to have them really close to their source. Like when I'm trying to make buckwheat honey, I don't set the bees up a mile away from the field. I set the bees up right on the edge of the field and let them work.
Why not the middle?
Well, then you're going to run over a lot of crop.
Oh, I see. You bring a truck in, right?
I move my
Can't
bees.
tiptoe in with a box.
I move my bees on trailers. My back won't take lifting 200 and 300 pound hives.
Oh boy, that when they're full,
Yes.
there must be when they're empty,
Lot
a
of-
little,
yeah.
little lighter than that.
Yes, but you know, a common hive with two deeps is going to be well over 100 pounds all year long. We like to see them weigh about 200 pounds in the fall before winter, so that they'll have that much honey to make it through.
You got to be careful to leave some honey, right?
Yeah, like I say, a hive needs to weigh 150 pounds minimum to make it through the winter. That's
So-
the wood and the honey and the bees, the whole works.
So then you're only going to take maybe half of the honey if you
Well, we'll take whatever they put in the top boxes, and
just the top boxes, and you leave the second or third.
we leave the 2 bottom ones
So they're
alone.
3 boxes high is the average hive, right?
Well, usually 3 to 5. 3 to 5. Average hive would be 3. But you take them down to 2 when you're done in the fall. And we usually extract our honey the 1st of October, so that after that they only have 2 boxes. They're forced to put the honey that they bring in the last 2 to 3 weeks or month of the fall into their brood nest. And what that does is, as they fill with honey, they stop laying so many eggs, slows down on the amount of eggs that they're laying for winter. And that's another interesting thing. A bee in the summertime will last 6 weeks because they wear their wings out. A bee in the winter can last 5 or 6 months.
We're out of here. They just told us their time is
Okay.
up. I want to give you 30 seconds to close off, and you mention your name, Bee Natural Honey Farms, right?
Yes.
And they have your phone number if they want to get back to you, talk to you. 450-4215. Write that down, especially if you see a bunch of swarm of bees somewhere. You're on, Ben.
Thank you very much, and support your local beekeepers. Buy some honey.
Okay, great.
All right.
And it's local, so it's better. It's more healthy for you, they tell me. Some of the a lot of the honey they get around here is from China, and you start getting slanty eyes and everything. It's weird because, you know, it's a local product.
It is a problem for us beekeepers and one thing I want to mention, if you buy honey from an unknown source, please, when you throw it away, throw it away in a sealed container. We don't want you feeding honey from another country to our bees, and our bees will find it if you leave it open. And China has a terrible problem with American fall brood, and we don't want it here.
What's American fall brood?
It's a disease, one of the old diseases that we call it American fall brood. I don't know why.
Okay, well, thank you. Ben, I want to thank you. I want to thank Terry and Kendra for joining us and helping us out. And again, if you want to get in touch with Ben, you've got his number,
4215.
450-4215. I want to thank the special people that have really helped out and performed, given us this program, done the work, the legwork, the heavy lifting. Chuck Kelsey, Devin Taylor, Chris Burt, Randy Burt, Chris Ramaker, Jeff Zook, and the Don Zens. May all, and not to mention, or fail to mention, John Hamill's Doc. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. Don't forget the Ox Roast in Westfield, 12 to dark. We'll see you later. I'm Reed Powers.